This is the menstrual cycle ridiculously simplified. The menstrual cycle can be divided based on the events or changes happening in the ovary or based on the events or changes happening in the endometrium of the uterus. The typical menstrual cycle lasts for 28 days. Day 1 of the menstrual cycle is the first day of menstrual flow. The entire duration of menses is known as the menstrual phase, usually lasting around 3 to 5 days in the typical 28-day cycle. At this time, the epithelial lining of the uterus, called the endometrium, degenerates, and this event is responsible for menstrual flow. With regards to our hormone levels, from day 1 up to around day 5 of the menstrual cycle, estrogen and progesterone levels are initially low. FSH and LH levels are also low. However, LH and FSH receptors are upregulated in the ovaries, theca, and granulosa cells. By day 7 of the menstrual cycle, a single follicle becomes the dominant follicle, also known as the Graafian follicle. That's Graafian, Graafian follicle. And from days 7 to 12, the plasma estrogen levels start to increase because of secretion of these dominant follicle. The increasing estrogen levels also causes the endometrium to proliferate. This is why the time period between the first day after menstruation and the day before ovulation is called the proliferative phase. During days 7 to 12 also, LH and FSH levels are low because they are suppressed by the negative feedback from the estrogen and another hormone called inhibin produced by the dominant follicle. At the same time, from days 7 to 12, the non-dominant follicles become to degenerate. This process of degeneration is called atresia. Atresia. During days 12 to 13, however, we see a surge in LH, here in magenta, a surge in LH, and to a lesser degree also a surge in FSH. This surge is induced by the continuously increasing plasma estrogen levels, again secreted by the dominant follicle. Therefore, the estrogen has a positive feedback effect on the secretion of FSH and LH. This is the estrogen-induced LH surge. And this estrogen-induced LH surge triggers ovulation. Now, the days we have been discussing so far are more or less adjustable by a day or two. However, ovulation always occurs 14 days before menses, regardless of the length of the menstrual cycle. Thus, for example, if the length of the menstrual cycle is 28 days, such as in this example, ovulation will occur in day 14. If the cycle length is 36 days, ovulation will occur in day 22 because that's 36 minus 14. Day 22 is the day of ovulation. Finally, with regards to the ovary, this whole period covering the development of the primordial follicle up to becoming the dominant follicle up until ovulation occurs is called the follicular phase. This is the follicular phase. Just after ovulation, estrogen levels decrease. The LH and FH levels also decrease after the surge. Cervical mucus also increases in quantity, becoming less viscous so that it will be more penetrable by sperm. From day 15 up around day 25, from day 15 to 25, the remnant of the dominant follicle, which has just ovulated, becomes the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. Under the influence of low but adequate levels of LH, the corpus luteum secretes estrogen and progesterone, which is why their levels here increase once more. The increasing progesterone levels, and to a lesser degree, the increasing estrogen, causes increased secretion of glycogen, lipids, and proteins to be secreted into the endometrium, all to make the endometrium more receptive to implantation of a fertilized egg. This is why this phase of the menstrual cycle in relation to the uterus is called the secretory phase. The secretory phase. The increasing estrogen and progesterone levels have a negative feedback effect on LH and FSH, thereby decreasing their plasma levels. During this time also, the basal body temperature also increases because of the effect of progesterone on the hypothalamic thermoregulatory center. If fertilization does not occur, what happens to the corpus luteum? It will regress. As the corpus luteum degenerates, the estrogen and the progesterone will also decrease. And the endometrium will also begin to slow off until we begin menstruation, thereby repeating the cycle once more. And with regards to the ovary, this entire period from the day the corpus luteum is produced up until its degeneration is the luteal phase. And if you'll notice, the entire duration of the luteal phase is exactly equal and corresponding to the duration of the secretory phase of the uterus. This is in contrast to the follicular phase, which still encompasses both the menstrual phase and then the proliferative phase.